Hello everyone, this is the second lecture on the chapter Study of the First Element, Hydrogen, and we will start this lecture with the topic Occurrence of Hydrogen. So, we will talk about the occurrence of hydrogen on Earth and occurrence of hydrogen in the universe. You know that hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. About 70% mass of the universe is hydrogen, because the most of the mass of universe is because of the stars, and the stars have more than 70% of hydrogen. So therefore hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. If we talk about the Earth, you know that hydrogen is present in our atmosphere in the form of H2, that is hydrogen gas. However, it is less than 0.03%, as well as it is present in the combined form in our oceans, seas, rivers, etc. So it is present in the form of water. So water consists of about 11% of hydrogen. So in combined form in sea or in rivers or oceans, it is about 11% hydrogen. It is also present in the earth crust in the form of petroleum product and natural gas like CH4. So you know that CH4, methane, consists of hydrogen. Similarly, petroleum products like petrol, diesel, all have hydrogen in it. So this is about the occurrence of hydrogen. The next topic is isotopes of hydrogen. So we have already discussed this topic in the chapter Atomic Structure and Chemical Bonding. There are 3 isotopes of hydrogen. One is called protium, it is denoted as H11. Then other is deuterium, deuterium is denoted as H12. And then third we have tritium, so tritium is denoted as H13. So protium has atomic number 1, mass number 1, deuterium has atomic number 1, mass number 2, and tritium atomic number 1 and mass number 3. So if we talk about the occurrence of these isotopes, so more than 99% in the earth is protium. So we can say deuterium and tritium is negligible as compared to protium. So this is all about the isotopes of hydrogen. Now we will talk about the preparation of hydrogen. There are many methods of preparation of hydrogen, whether in laboratory or in industries. So we will talk about them in details. So the first method is by reaction of water with active metals. So water can react with active metals and can form hydrogen. How? Let's see some reactions. There are very active metals like potassium or sodium or calcium. So they combine with water and give hydrogen. So like potassium reacts with water and forms KOH and H2. Similarly, sodium reacts with water and form NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. This is potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. Calcium reacts with water and forms calcium hydroxide and hydrogen. So these are the most reactive metals. So these are highly reactive metals. So because of these highly reactive metals, hydrogen is formed. So these reactive metals, the most reactive metals, will form corresponding hydroxide. You can see potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide or calcium hydroxide. Now the question is, do we use these metals for the preparation of hydrogen? The answer is no. The main reason is because these metals are highly reactive, so they react vigorously or violently with water to form hydrogen, and due to this the temperature increases and it becomes so high that the hydrogen produced during the reaction may catch the fire. So therefore we don't use these particular substances, these particular elements. Also expensive, so we can use of hydrogen. Now if we talk about less reactive metal, means they are also active metals, but they are less reactive as compared to these three metals like magnesium, aluminium and zinc. So these metals react with hot water or boiling water. So they react with hot or boiling water. Remember it, they react with hot or boiling water, while these metals can even react with cold water because they are highly reactive. But these metals are less reactive, so they will not react with cold water, but they will react with the boiling water or hot water. So like magnesium will react with hot water and will form magnesium oxide, aluminium will form aluminium oxide and zinc will form zinc oxide, and all of them will also liberate the hydrogen. So remember, these metals which are less reactive as compared to the metals above, they will form corresponding oxides. So this is the difference. These most active metals will form corresponding hydroxides, the oxides of those metals, while these metals will form their oxides. So remember this difference. The next is by iron. So we can also form the hydrogen from iron, but iron does not react with cold water, neither with hot water, because iron is less reactive than these metals. So iron will react with steam at very high temperature, So iron will react with steam at very high temperature and will form Fe3O4 and hydrogen. So you can see, you know about the reactivity series. So the first three elements, these elements, they are highly reactive. So their reaction with water is very violent. So therefore the temperature increases and it becomes so high that the hydrogen produced during the reaction may catch the fire. So therefore it is not safe to use these elements. Now if we talk about the next few elements like magnesium, aluminium or zinc, they react with water and will form corresponding oxides, while they form hydroxides. And if we talk about iron, cobalt, nickel, tin, so they will react with steam. They will not react with hot or cold water because they are very less active metal as compared to the above metals. So these are highly reactive metals, these are less reactive metals, and they are very less reactive metals. Now you know that in activity series hydrogen comes here, so these metals will not form the hydrogen on reaction with water. So remember, because these metals come after hydrogen in activity series or reactivity series. Now by action of acids on metal, there is one more method of production of hydrogen, that is by action of acids on metal. So generally we can use HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, or H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So Mg plus 2HCl, it will form MgCl2, that is magnesium chloride and hydrogen. Similarly aluminium with sulfuric acid will form aluminium sulfate and hydrogen, or iron with HCl will form ferrous chloride and hydrogen. Now we can also have a reaction of zinc plus HCl to HCl, it will form ZnCl2 plus H2. Now again you can see that these metals, copper, silver, mercury, gold, etc., these metals cannot replace hydrogen from acids because they are less reactive as compared to hydrogen. So they cannot replace hydrogen from acids, so therefore they are not used, they cannot be used for production of hydrogen, while the metals above, they can replace the hydrogen from acids. Now let's see laboratory preparation of hydrogen, means how the hydrogen can be prepared in laboratory. So in laboratory we can prepare hydrogen by reaction of zinc with hydrochloric acid, dilute hydrochloric acid, or we can also use dilute H2SO4 instead of hydrochloric acid. So what is the whole process? So there is the figure of the whole process. This is the complete diagram. So you can see in this process we use dilute H2SO4 or dilute HCl and granulated zinc. So granulated zinc is kept in a vessel where dilute H2SO4 or dilute HCl is poured from top. So if we pour dilute HCl, this reaction will take place. It will give ZnCl2 and will liberate hydrogen gas. And if you use dilute H2SO4, we will get ZnSO4, zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Now hydrogen, which is evolved from here, is passed through this delivery tube and it is collected by downwards displacement of water. You can see water is filled here. So because hydrogen is a very light gas, so it can be obtained by downwards displacement of water. So this is how we can prepare hydrogen in laboratory. Now let's see how hydrogen can be prepared in industries. So the first process that we use, and this is the most useful process, that is Bosch process. So there are basically 3 steps in this process. The first step is production of water gas. So how the water gas is prepared? Water gas is prepared when carbon, that is red hot carbon, and we pass steam through red hot carbon or red hot coke. So we use red hot coke and steam is passed over red hot coke at very high temperature. You can see the temperature is about 1000 degrees Celsius. So it will give you the mixture of 2 gases, that is carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So this mixture is known as water gas. So remember this. Carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas is known as water gas. Now, in the second step, the reduction of steam to hydrogen. So what happens? This gas, on this water gas, we also pass more steam at about 450 degrees Celsius. Steam will be passed through this water gas and now it will give carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. So you can see here more hydrogen gas is produced in this step. Now the third step, because you know that there are 3 gases now. First we have produced carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Now this carbon monoxide will be converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen. So you can see here we have hydrogen gas and carbon dioxide gas, and some traces of carbon monoxide will also be there. So how are these separated from hydrogen? Because we need hydrogen, not carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So we have to remove the carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So the third step is separation of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide from hydrogen. So how these substances can be removed? So in the first step, we can remove carbon dioxide by passing this gaseous mixture, the gaseous mixture of carbon dioxide, hydrogen and carbon monoxide through water at very high pressure, that is about 50 to 30 atm pressure. So because you know that at high pressure water can absorb carbon dioxide, so carbon dioxide can be absorbed by water. So we can remove the carbon dioxide in this way, and carbon monoxide can be removed from the mixture by passing the mixture through ammoniacal cuprous formate. So by passing the mixture through ammoniacal cuprous formate, the carbon monoxide is absorbed. So we will get the hydrogen gas, pure hydrogen gas. So this is how we can obtain pure hydrogen in this process. Now there are a few more processes like electrolysis of water. So generally we use acidified water. We use acid and water. We can use dilute acid like H2SO4 with water, and when the electricity is passed through acidified water, we will get hydrogen and oxygen. So this method can also be used for preparation of hydrogen. One more method is there from natural gas. You know that natural gas consists of CH4, that is methane. So this is methane. So in the presence of nickel is used as catalyst here. So in the presence of nickel, when it reacts with steam. Generally this is steam, so steam is used in this process, so it will give carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So this is all about the preparation of hydrogen and manufacture of hydrogen. If you have any queries related to these topics, you can ask your questions in comment box. Thank you very much.